Hi, this is Karen Asman, and I'd like to welcome you to the Courageous Parenting video sponsored by the Levittown Library. I'm Karen Asman. My company is growing through coaching. I'm a certified positive discipline parent educator. I'm certified in parenting with insight. I'm a professional certified coach. I'm the parent of 2 teens that still talk to me, and I'm an optimist. I believe that courageous parenting involves making a connection with your children, building awareness, finding trust, and ensuring acceptance for yourself and your family. Today, I want to talk to you about screen time. Screen time's changed a lot pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. It used to be all about social media and games, and parents were going crazy about how much time their kids were spending on social media. But now it is also around social connection. It's about doing their schoolwork. It's about research. Kids are using it for wellness. It's time with their friends. It's meetings. And for some, it's a means of escape. Screen time has doubled for many of our kids pre-pandemic to post-pandemic. So let's talk a little bit about what you can do to help your kids understand the impacts of social media on them and to support you as you try and build these boundaries. So for the kids, one thing that they can do to really understand how much time they're spending and where they're spending their time, because some of the time may be healthy time on there, is to keep a log. Sit down and talk them through, tracking how much time they're on, how long they're on each app. You can give them the privacy of doing it themselves so that they're not feeling like, oh, my parents are going to look at this and see how much time I'm spending on TikTok or Instagram or whatever else I may be spending it on. But it'll give them a sense of really tracking to see what the truth is about how much time they're spending. I would encourage you to encourage them to get some digital literacy about what they're looking at and how it might impact them. You could even talk about the chemical interaction that happens within their body when they get pinged or when somebody likes something of theirs. There's an impact of dopamine and it gets them excited, and that could potentially add to like an addictive tendency. If your phone buzzes, you're like, ooh, what's going on? We do that as parents, and our kids are doing that as well. Remind them that their brains are fully functioned at 20. So at 14, they may not be able to make all the best decisions for themselves. So educating them. I have one kid already in college and another kid going into college in a couple of years, and we talk about how colleges may look at your social media to make decisions about whether they want you in the school or not. I have a friend many years ago who actually lost her job because she was a lawyer and lost her job because her company saw a picture that they didn't feel was appropriate. And she lost her job at a major company because of it, because of what they saw on social media. And it's not beyond colleges to be looking at kids' social medias and making decisions about whether they're going to accept our kids into college these days based on what they see on the social media. So really talking about, having a positive digital profile. Colleges may be looking at it, jobs may be looking at it, and how it could impact them for the future. Some of the worries that they should be thinking about and you should be thinking about is cyberbullying, sexting, right? The addiction of social media, fake news, and privacy. Once you put something out on social media, you can say, oh, it's going to get deleted in 5 minutes or 15 seconds or whatever, but it's so easy to take that like print screen and it's there forever. So educating your kids on all of these and helping them understand is really important to help them see the impact of screen time they have on them. And I know we're talking a lot about our phones and the apps they have, but we should also be conscious that screen time includes television as well. And for some kids, if they're at home, doing school, that's all part of it as well. So when we look at the time that our kids are spending on a screen, we have to take all of that into consideration. And so we're really looking to have a balance of that, right? Our kids may need to be on a screen for school. So that could be 4 to 6 hours a day for some kids. And so if they're spending 2 hours a day on social media and games and everything else, is that a comfortable balance? So really understanding what your family values are around social media, around screen time, what's acceptable. I would encourage you to have a family meeting on this. Work with your children to see what's appropriate. And if you have kids of different ages, different timings may be appropriate for different kids, right? Depending on whether they're in school or out of school, whether they're doing work on the computer or not, whether they have research that they have to do, whether they're just playing games. Figure out what is acceptable within your family's values. Talk about those boundaries with your children. Talk about the consequences of breaking those boundaries and coming up with an agreement with your kids and that you're comfortable with yourself to move forward with what is acceptable for everybody. I would educate yourself about some of the apps that your kids are using. There are some that are absolutely fine, and there are some that are a little scarier. And so it's important for you to know what's on your kid's phone, what they're into. Don't hesitate to talk to your children about it. That's always the best way. And do your own research. There are family chat rooms. There are your friends that have similar age kids, and really kind of get an understanding for what your kids are looking at and understand what each of those apps look like so you can educate yourself and educate your children if you have to. Look to take like screen vacations, right? Find activities that your kids can do that don't involve screen time, right? Get them outside, leave the phone at home, kind of maybe have like some blackout times where your kids aren't going to be on their phones, and go for a walk, take them out for ice cream, go throw a ball around, go play Legos, whatever, and put the phone away. And I would also say, while you're asking your child to put the phone away, you can put your phone away. Model that behavior for them. Model the behavior of it's okay to walk away from this. Our kids are watching us. They see what we're doing. If we're always kind of jumping to our phone, our kids are going to think this is what's appropriate. Mom, dad are doing it. So you know what? It's okay for me to do it too. So show them what's acceptable. Show them what you're comfortable with. Model that behavior for them so that they can start to be comfortable with. It's never too early to start this. Kids at like 18 months are kind of walking around with like iPads in the stores and playing games, and mom and dad are on their phone. And there's a lot less face-to-face communication. I know when my kids were little, I lived in a different country to my parents, and I had them sitting in front of the computer so that my parents were able to see them and they were able to see their grandparents. And so we started that, but we also took them away from it, right? So find the boundaries, model the behavior that you want. Discuss with your children, like I said, the cyberbullying, what that could look like, what it might look like for them to hopefully not, but receive cyberbullying, and what might be perceived as cyberbullying from them. Let them see both sides. Talk about sexting, okay? Talk about like how you never know what's on the other end of the phone or on the other end of the app. You don't know who these people are, right? That includes like in the video games. When my son was younger and he was playing video games, he's now, quote, an adult. He's 18 years old. But when he's younger playing video games and he's like, oh, I joined this team with these people. No idea who they are. Make sure that in photos, they're not like wearing their school sweatshirt or have information behind them or on their desk or in the picture that's going to show where they are, who they are. Or sometimes it could be a really scary world. We really want to protect our kids. Just get them to think appropriately, think safely about what they're putting out. Because again, once it's out there, it's out there. And while hopefully everybody they meet is a good person, you never really know what's on the other end of the phone, on the other end of the screen for you. So talk about the cyberbullying, talk about, the cyber addiction, right? How dopamine impacts their brains, why they kind of feel anxious when they're away from their phones, how the fact that they feel anxious while they're away from their phones means that there's an issue, and finding that balance, because you can't just get away from it, right? But you can find the balance so that it's a healthy relationship with their phone and not an unhealthy relationship, which would be more of that addictive connection. Talk to them about fake news. Kids are really susceptible to what's out there. And once you click something that has fake news, because you're curious, you're always going to be being sent more and more. We all do this. It's like you look for sneakers and then you're getting like Adidas, Nike, Reebok, right? You're getting all the ads. So once you click on something that might be fake news, you're going to start to get all of it. And when you're a younger kid and you're starting to see all this, you might start to believe all of it, right? So talk to them about fake news. Talk to them about their privacy. Again, once you post something, it doesn't go away. It's on there forever. So are the colleges going to look at that? Are the jobs going to look at that? And they can go back 10 years. So even if you're a young kid at like 12 years old, 10 years from now, when you're out there, finished college, going for a job, what you posted at 12 is still out there. It's never going to go away. So make good decisions. Talk to them about that. And talk to them about the potential mental health connections, that anxiety, that stress that you're feeling from having the phone, why it's so important for people to give you that heart, and accept whatever you're putting out there. Why is that important? Talking about that connection with them. Lastly, I want to say, right, it's really important to find the balance. And as parents, it's really important to have that empathy and that patience. It's about finding that right balance. Our kids are using their phones for things that we didn't expect them to be needing to use their phones for. They're doing their work on it. They're doing some mental health things on it. They're talking to people. Sometimes they're escaping from the insanity the world that they're growing up in right now is giving them. So it's okay to have that escape. It's okay to use social media to connect with your friends and use screens to connect with your friends. But it's finding that right balance, and you have to find the right balance for your family of what is acceptable and what is not. I hope that if you have any questions, you could always reach out to me. I want to thank the Levittown Library for putting these videos out there. I hope you all find them useful. If you have any questions about screen time or anything else that I've discussed in any of these videos, reach out to me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.